Hey guys, welcome back. Sitting here in the backyard, it seems to be cooler than it has been the last couple of days. We are in Teacher Appreciation Week, and I have to tell you that on Tuesday night I got a huge surprise. I had quite a few of my students come and stop by and say hey, honk and wave, and that was just truly awesome. My wife and my daughter took videos of it, and it was really, in all honesty, one of the best things that's happened to me professionally, or overall. Definitely one of those top things that's truly ever happened to me. As a teacher, you come in contact with a lot of individuals, and you help you make relationships. And I think I have. I thought I did. And Tuesday night, when people came and drove by and honked, and it meant a lot. It really did. It's truly awesome, and I was speechless for a very long time. Very long time. So we're back at it today. Nobody's logging in today, but what I thought we'd do today is favorite teacher for Teacher Appreciation Week, and if you can take a photograph of that and then send that to me, that would be awesome. And then I will. Hello, Maya and Malcolm. How are you guys doing? Hey, Gabriel. Hello. How are you guys doing? I was just saying that on Tuesday night, Tuesday night I had some folks come over to the house last night, or Tuesday night, and then Gabriel stopped over yesterday and with pizza. Truly unbelievable, just quite speechless. And you know, as a teacher, I was saying that you really want and hope that you are making some connections and building relationships, and stuff that you do means something. And golly, the past couple of days I've felt appreciated, and I have felt like what I have done has mattered. So thank you for everybody that has come by my place, by my house. Now you know where I live, as crazy as that is. It was awesome. Hey, Irma. Hello. Today what we're going to do is we're going to draw our favorite teacher. And I have, hey John, how are you doing, man? Personally, I have a few. John, I just said thank you to you guys for showing up last night with pizza. That's awesome. I have a few of my favorite teachers. When I was... Oh, thank you so much. Oh, let me see what else. Oh, it says see more, so I'm going to click on that. Well, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I have a few favorite teachers in my own life. Hello, Dan. How are you doing? I guess I have a couple of favorite teachers. My first favorite teacher, Nam here. Hello. My first favorite teacher, I guess, was in seventh grade. Seventh grade. It was my favorite teacher. His name was John McGill. He was my science teacher in seventh grade, and just a great guy, funny, sarcastic, taught his stuff with humor. I feel like I've tried to use his style with humor and telling jokes, nicknames, and all and such. He meant a lot to me, and he was my science teacher in 7th grade and 8th grade, and then moved up with our class to Westlake High School in Austin, and we had him in high school as well. So he was a part of my life for 6 years, taking science. Just an outstanding individual. Another one was Dr. Martin in high school. He was my English teacher. He was a cool guy, a hippie, and nothing like me, but he played music all the time, and just a real laid-back dude. I liked him a lot. Those are I would say, my 2 favorite teachers for me personally. For professionally wise, colleagues, I would say one of my team members that I work with was a guy by the name of Carl Hooker. Back 18, 19 years ago, I was a first grade teacher, if you can believe that. I was a first grade teacher, and Carl was, I had never taught first grade before, but he was a good friend, Aesophic. Turned out to be one of my very, very, very best friends. Smart, intelligent. He was a good sounding board for me. Kids really loved him. He liked to dress up. I had fun with it, but I was also professional. So the fun side of Good Time Carl was that certainly was he's one of my favorite teachers. Watching, I guess. Irma Uturi is right here. She was a good friend of mine back in the day when I lived in Austin. She was a PE teacher, and also sarcastic as all get out, but fun as well. We had fun. And then I would say here at Keystone, and you might not, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but my favorite teacher as a parent of my kid is Mr. Gonzalez. Gabe Gonzalez, I would say, is by far one of the most outstanding educators I've truly ever been in contact with. Now, you kids that go to Keystone, there's no way that you can possibly understand this, but you are so lucky to have Gabe Gonzalez as your music teacher. And the reason why that is he has built his program, built the music program, giving you as many different musical instruments as possible. And I went to public school. I've taught at public school before. A lot of times what happens is you just sing. And most of the time, music classes were 50, 60 kids in there. And some kids were participating and some kids were not. He does ukuleles. I've never heard of ukuleles being taught in school, and he does it in 2nd grade. He does the tubanos in kindergarten and 1st grade. He does ukuleles in 2nd grade. I can't stand those recorders, but he does recorders. And the reason why he does recorders is he actually, they teach you how to learn how to read music and play music, and builds up that dexterity in your hands. So it's not just guitar, it's not just drums, but it's also, if you want to play the trumpet or the saxophone or tuba, you learn breathing techniques. He taught my daughter, tutored her on guitars, how to play the guitar. She loves the guitar. She plays acoustic, bass, electric guitar. If you have the opportunity to take Encore, he has a band, Um, Gabe Gonzalez is awesome, and he's just maybe the nicest guy that I've ever met, and I consider myself lucky that he's one of my really great friends, one of my best friends. And when I met him, I was a parent of my daughter, and she was in kindergarten. And he came up and he shook my hand, and I was like, man, I could be friends with that guy, and I am. So I know Gabe's not watching, but yeah, I would say Gabe Gonzalez is probably my favorite teacher that I've worked with, and I see that we have Joya Holden in here, a 4th grade teacher. She's watching. Hi, Joya. Glad you can make it. Joya was part of the 4th grade drive-by on Tuesday night, and it was really outstanding. I know it meant a lot to her as well. So Joya is one of those outstanding teachers at Keystone that, for whatever reason, I'm not sure. Well, I'll leave that alone. But anyway, so this is what I want you to do. Today's lesson is I want you to envision yourself back at school with, I want you to envision yourself back at school with your favorite teacher, whoever that may be. I certainly would love for you to take a photograph of your artwork here today, and if you do, what will happen is I'll forward it on to that particular teacher. So today what I'm going to do is we are going to draw our favorite teacher here today, Nan. So I'm going to do Mr. Gonzalez because I will no longer be working with him next year, but he's going to be back there at Keystone, so you guys will get to see him next year as well, and learn from him and all his great teaching. I'm going to draw him. You do not need to draw him. If you want to pick somebody else, that's great. If you want to do Miss Holden or Miss Stewart. I saw Miss Stewart's husband yesterday, or Tuesday. My days blend together. I was riding my bike and I ran into him. And then, or Miss Combs, Miss Orenday, Miss Cook. If you're in 1st grade, would be Miss Quintero, Miss Westwood. Kindergarten, Miss Carpenter or Miss Lavelle. So, or you got, Miss Holiday or Miss Holden. So we're going to draw. What I want you to do is just envision yourself there. Maybe you connect with Coach S, Coach P, Coach U, Coach Rubio, Senora Greenfield. I don't know, Miss Gypsy. You decide, and it doesn't have to be a Keystone teacher. It can be your favorite. So you choose who that's going to be. But for me, it's going to be Gabe Gonzalez. So I'm going to move my deal down here. Hold on, let me get him back up. I got some balloons. So my daughter, she is graduating. Tomorrow's her last day at school. So I got some balloons that say congratulations, class of 2000. When in Rome, there you go. So I have done this a few times. We're going to start out with ovals. That's right, loose ovals. And Mr. Gonzalez has this sort of hairstyle. If you think of like a big hair that comes to a point, it's parted on the side. Then we've got some ears. Here we go, that's his nose. And he has these new fancy glasses that he got, that he's very, very proud of. Now, one of the things that makes, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just color that hair in. One of the things that makes Mr. Gonzalez is his mustache. And then he has this really wild beard. So as you can see here, what I'm doing is I am using that hatch line. Oh, hey William, how you doing, big man? I'm using that hatch line technique. It's a series of lines that are right next to each other. There you go. And don't forget his eyebrows. So we've got Mr. Gonzalez here, and then he has, and I feel like this beard is very conservative when you're talking to Mr. Gonzalez, because he's been known to have that beard go very, very long. What do you think? How's that for a Mr. Gonzalez piece here? Maybe I'll give it a little bit more. Have it come down a little bit more, and then they used to say that this is kind of a Fu Manchu kind of thing. So one of the things that Mr. Gonzalez likes to wear, he likes to wear these fishing shirts, these Columbia fishing shirts. Now again, you don't have to draw Mr. Gonzalez, your choice, but this is just me. I have this nice little picture of him here, and there is an artist by the name of Pablo Picasso. If you have been in my second grade class, we have done Pablo Picasso units before. Pablo Picasso was a painter in the 20th century. He came up with a style called Cubism. One of the pieces that he had was a thing called Three Musicians, and I think that really rings true here with Mr. Gonzalez. I'm going to do his shirt. There you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have him play the guitar, because he's really kind of a guitar player. And these shirts that he wears, they have pockets that he likes to keep his picks in. And we got the strings. Starting to come along here. Oops. I just beautiful oops that thing right here. That's the side of the guitar. Now truly, I should have had this go a little bit more. That's okay. I don't know if Mr. Gonzalez will mind all that much. Let's see. Let's beautiful oops that. What do you say? We have some fingers right here. There you go. Maybe he's tuning that guitar. And then some jeans. These almost look capri-ish. I'm sorry, Gabe. And what he likes to wear is he likes to wear Crocs. I don't know why he likes to wear Crocs, but he does. There you go. We can even do one of these deals. We'll say that these are some black jeans that he's wearing. Again, you got to remember that I'm actually drawing upside down. I'm sorry. Now keep in mind, this would be not a superhero. So he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's a normal human being, maybe a little shorter than say me. So he would be about 5, 5.5, whereas he'd be about 5 heads tall. I would be about 6. I've given him some really short legs. Sorry again, Gabe. Let's maybe have his, there you go. We'll extend those jeans, giving him some longer legs. And if you've been in his classroom before, you got to think about what is the setting. So he has a smart board, and normally what happens is he has the sheet music up here, and then maybe he has some tubanos. Now, if you're drawing somebody else, think about what their classroom looks like. Miss Holden's not going to have tubanos on her stuff. Does she have a beanbag? What about Miss Stewart? What does she have in her room? I can't really tell you because I haven't been in her room more than just a handful of times. And I don't truly remember exactly what these tubanos look like, but I want to say that they're somewhat close to this. And we got a little tubano. Hey Brad, what's up? And here we've got he has a cinder block background. You're doing Miss Holden and Miss Holiday. Oh, fantastic. Well, that is good. I will make sure that if you can send me a photograph, that would be great. Does it? Well, Brad, you know, you are, what are you, 6'4", 6'3", 6'5"? Gabe is about 5'10", so he's a little shorter. So you got your smart board over here, maybe we got a music stand that's right here. Gabe has some guitars on the wall. So how you draw a guitar is it's kind of like a snowman with a circle right here. Then you got some horizontal, this is the fretboard. Which ends in a kind of a trapezoid. And then another trapezoid. he might have some amps that are down here. And truly, this is just kind of your own interpretation. So if you are like Maya and you want to do your Miss Holden or Miss Holiday or some other teacher, you go ahead. And you can just do, you can be like Maya, and maybe you have more than one teacher. Maybe you have one teacher that speaks to you. You know who I said was one of my favorite teachers, Brad, was Mr. McGill. Did you ever have Mr. McGill back in the day? Or Dr. Martin? Those are two teachers that spoke to me back. Were awesome teachers. I might do another Tubano. Now remember, what you can do is you can have things superimpose on top of one another. When he passed away, now for those of you that don't know, Brad and I are friends from high school. He's the only, I really wanted to go to that funeral. I would have definitely gone to that funeral had I been in town that time, but had I known. I love that guy. The crazy thing is about teachers and their students, I actually spend more, Coach Long, yeah, he was great, yes. You actually spend more time with you guys, the students, than we do with our own kids. And truly, sometimes you get along better with their students instead of their kids. Parenting is a hard job. You know what you could do also, guys, is you can draw a picture of your parents, since your parents sometimes, your parents are kind of your teachers these days. They're doing a lot of homeschool teaching, helping out the teachers. Maybe your parents are your favorite teachers. I don't know. And parents, the parents that are tuning in, maybe you get a little bit of a idea what what these teachers deal with on a regular basis. I don't know. I used to always, I have this one principal, and she would tell me, well, isn't it great that you just get to come in here and just, color with your kids? I said, well, some days it is, and some days, well, it's pretty darn hard. It's a hard job. Teaching's a hard job. So, I'm looking at Gabe's picture on Facebook, and he has this super orange Columbia fishing shirt. And I actually have a couple of friends. Brad, can you imagine Rob decked out in a Columbia fishing shirt right now? Maybe not orange. Probably definitely not orange, but Gabe's the only other guy that I know, other than my friend Rob, that wears these shirts. Not that they're not fashionable, because I think they're supposed to be quite comfortable, but draw the line. You draw the line at orange, yeah. Well, this is Tennessee orange. It's not burnt orange. A shout out to the Bobs. So for those of you that don't know, or haven't picked up, Brad is one of my very best friends. I said we went to high school together. And we stay in contact every single day. It's really fantastic when you can you have these relationships with these people, these friends that you can count on, especially during hard times like this. She's wearing a sloth dress. You're still terrible. What is it? Sorry, man. I don't know the sloth dress. Yep, there you go. History of rock and roll. That's a great class. Terrible jeans. Oh, she's wearing jeans. We got a couple different conversations. Oh, we got balloons that are flying away. Now these two Bonos, they are, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that these are more of like an African style. So the African colors, there's a lot of oranges and greens and then blacks that are in a lot of the patterns that are involved there. So, and I could be completely off. It's been a while since I've been in Mr. Gonzalez's room. So forgive me if I'm getting this wrong. What do you think? Does that start to look a little bit like some of the things that you might see in Mr. Gonzalez's room? Maybe have another amp down here. Let me clean up this guitar. And this is on a bracket. All right, let's see. Now also, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, he has this sort of just kind of crazy green color on the wall. I never truly understood that. They painted like part of his room, and then they left a whole bunch of it green. I think it was kind of like a grunge look to it. I'm losing people left and right. But this is going to be a short one, I think. How are you guys doing on yours? Gabriel, who are you doing? And maybe I do some musical notes. I have all these guitars that would be there. Mr. Gonzalez, he'd laugh at me if he saw this. Those aren't even made up. He'd say these aren't any notes whatsoever. But what do you think? How's yours coming along? Good? Mai, is your brother with you today? Okay. What do I gotta do? I gotta sign it. I don't think I signed Tuesdays. He's doing Miss Quintero. All right, so right there. I think I did a fairly decent job on that one. I think I need to maybe color in his skin a little bit. Maybe do a... I'm going to use this gold. I'm going to do an oil pastel. And then I'm going to come back with some brown. Maybe do a little smudging. Now Mr. Gonzalez is Hispanic, so he would have a little bit of a darker tone. But he's a light Hispanic. So what I'm going to do with these oil pastels is blend them. Oh, the great thing about these oil pastels is, remember that thing with the hand? How I made a mistake and I wanted to beautiful oops it? Well, those oil pastels just kind of come back and boom, it's there. Maybe give a little bit of that tone to it. All right. What do you think? Well, I didn't do his mouth. Can't forget his mouth. Hey, Sandy, how are you doing? Sandy, we're doing the best teachers that we know. Here we go. So, this is my buddy, Gabe Gonzalez, my teammate on the special areas team, and he's the best educator that I know. He teaches his kids tubanos, which are these big, tall drums. He teaches them movement. He teaches them showmanship. He teaches them ukuleles, guitars, recorders, drums, electric guitar, bass, how to sing, how to hold a microphone, how to tune a guitar. What else? Garage band. He's doing the history of rock and roll class right now. In high school, or history of music, really. He is a disciplinarian, but the nicest guy that I know. What was funny is he, a couple of years ago, he had this student has graduated, and the mom came up, and she was she's one of those moms that like to complain to get her way. She said her son did not want to play the guitar. Oh, there's Baxter. Son didn't want to play the guitar, didn't want to learn, had no interest. And Gabe's response was, well, this isn't a democracy. You don't get to choose what you want to do. So maybe you do that, I don't know, at your house, but I thought it was just fantastic. It was just, what a great thing. And I kind of adopted that as well. So, I just gotta, people get criticized, but you know what? At the end of the day, there's teachers like myself, like Gabe, like the rest of the people that are out there, and that you got to teach something. You got to make a decision. You can't cater everything to everybody. So I think he does an outstanding job. Gabe, I'm going to send this to you. Mr. Gonzalez, he's in Oklahoma right now, so he's supposed to be coming back sometime soon. But anyway, this will be, I'll put this in your room when you can have it. All right, so we're done with that particular lesson. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you about permanent collection. Permanent collection, there is on your Seesaw, if you're a Keystone student, there is a link to the page, the lower school art contest. I've done it on my Facebook here at facebook.com/Mr. Parker's Art. I've done it on my own Facebook. I put it on Twitter. We've got some kindergartners that are trending well. Mr. Krydell, you are doing well with your bear. Gabriel's doing well with his blue dog. We've got multiple people that are doing well. Let's see, we've got we got Caroline Rickles, I think, with the artist. McCheese, your portrait, McCheese Traveling is going well. I don't know. So I think we've got about 250 people voting right now. So if you haven't voted, vote. Go to that website. If you are a Keystone student, you need to send me your votes via Seesaw. Am I going to be here next year at Keystone? Ma'am, I'm not going to be here next year. I am not. Unfortunately. I'm going to miss you a bunch, man. But I'm not. So anyway, we are going to permanent collection. You vote. Send me your votes in an email form. It's fine. If you're a student, email that to me via Seesaw, or your parents can email me at cparker@keystoneschool.org or parkeriscreative@gmail.com. parkeriscreative@gmail.com. Or you can make a comment here on Facebook, or you can make a comment on my Facebook, or you can do it on Twitter. So anyway, tomorrow is going to be the last day of the week. We are going to do a portrait of me. So and then next week will be the last week. As crazy as that is. After 24 years of teaching, that will be the final week. So, on that note, I am going, we got a little bit, 141. We got a little bit left. Anybody have any questions? How is your artwork coming along? I can't speak. I don't know. All right. Well, I finished a little bit early today. Again, I thought this was Mr. Gonzalez thought this one was pretty good. Gabe, I miss you, man. I'll miss working with you next year. But, on that note, I'm going to take off. You guys have a good Thursday. All right. This is my aunt in the chat. We're going to end it. See you guys. Bye-bye.